On the lock. All right, everybody, it's 9:30. We're gonna get the ball rolling here. Good morning to all. Come on, Miranda. Turn to the meeting, you're up talking. I get a good vacation. First is the approval of the agenda. I'll move to approve the agenda as provided. All those in favor? Aye. Minutes of the June 16th, 26 board meetings.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Public hearing, chapter 31, private sewage disposal system.
Motion to open public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Written or verbal comments? Written. Anybody in the audience got a verbal comment? Right. Tell us all about it.
This is an ordinance that Jeff and I have been working on for probably about the last year or so. A lot of counties have had a private sewage ordinance, and Wapello County has not. So we've been working on one, just trying to help smooth the process down, what is expected of the homeowners, what's expected of the contractors. As you know, the Board of Health has given planning and zoning the authority. We're acting as their authority to enforce Chapter 69 of the Iowa Code. So this will kind of help us guide everybody as we move forward with their septic systems. If they've got wells, what's expected, not hooking up or when they hook up additional dwellings, if they can, the procedures. So this went before the Board of Health on June 9th, and they are recommending approval. So that's just finishing our process for the ordinance.
This also went before your board too, is that correct?
The Board of Health, yes.
Just the Board of Health.
Yep, because they are the
By code, they're.
by code, yes. Yep, and then Jeff also worked with Scott Hastings at the county attorney's office as well.
Questions, comments from Haley? Motion to close the public hearing?
Make a motion to close.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to authorize.
And I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
And we want to waive the second, third?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to waive the second and third reading.
And I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Public hearing for fiscal year 25-26 budget amendment number 3. Motion to open the public hearing.
Move to open.
I'll second.
Those in favor? Written or verbal comments? Brian?
I have a comment myself.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I understand, I think most of this except the conservation. Did you have any information on that? I didn't receive anything that justified it.
I did, but I gotta remember what it was. And it's still something to do with the campground.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. That's good enough for now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe it was all the electrical grid system
Yeah.
that had screwed up.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Okay. Any other question, comment? Motion to,
I'll move to close the public hearing.
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 24-26, budget amendment number 3, fiscal year 25-26.
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Fiscal year 2027 annual allocation, Food Bank of Iowa for food boxes. This is a purchase the county makes for the food bank. Been doing it on a yearly basis for quite a while, so.
I'll make a motion to approve. For
And-
25,000.
Before I second, can I comment?
Sure.
And then I'll do that. I checked into this a little bit. The last 3 years, we paid them $20,000. And so, the 5,000, maybe a little bit of increase over the 20, but on the other hand, it's been 20,000 for the last 3 years, and we could have probably increased it in smaller increments. Therefore, based upon all that, I'll go ahead and second the motion.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 26-26, setting court amendment for administration rental. We have to house state employees for the court administration. And I believe we share with 13 counties total. So this is the allocation of rent between the 13 counties splitting up.
I'll make a motion to authorize.
And before I second it, I would like to ask, what was the dollar amount the previous year? Does anybody know?
The same.
Same, okay. I will second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 27-26, authorization to pay payment of group insurance premiums for fiscal year 26-27.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Now, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 28-26, authorize auditor to pay claims for fiscal year 26-27.
Approved.
I'll second.
And just going forward, I believe we will have ACH set up and ready to go. I think we're just ready to complete that. So we'll be going through the Iowa State Bank and be able to do immediate payments and not have to worry about issuing so many checks. So hopefully making things a little easier now. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 29-26, authorize auditor to pay salaried personnel for fiscal year 26-27. And we have going to be off just a hair because we caught some salaries that weren't paid correctly or weren't figured in correctly in one of the contracts. That right, that foreman, there's three foremen at the secondary roads. That wasn't, no, it's right there.
So the working foremen are gonna go to 3314.
I think, yeah.
So they'll just need to adjust this form. Yeah, it's going to 3314.
It doesn't amount to a whole lot of, just very few dollars, but wanted to be correct, so. So all those in favor that everything else was correct?
I'll make a motion to approve.
And I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 30-26, employee salaries for 26-27. That's probably where that would be.
Yeah.
Yep, I was one ahead, yes. Thanks for catching that. Motion to approve on that.
And I'll move to approve.
Okay.
Those in favor?
Aye.
County AI policy for handbook. We've been keeping Andy busy with electronic policies here for a little bit, so trying to get everything current. It's hard to keep up with technology. It seems to be current, up to date. We're getting that out to all department heads to get it signed by their employees.
Is that not included in the updated handbook that you?
It will, when it comes out, it will be attached at the back.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get all the policies.
All the policies that,
Okay. Perfect. Thank you.
yeah, all those resolutions, stuff, we're digging them all up, making sure they're all there, so. Saves us time having to find them too. Approval of the AI policy.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Spirit Financial Incorporated financial agreement for the jail expansion. Don, you want to speak a little bit?
This is a group that's worked with several counties and cities and other community colleges across the state of Iowa. In talking with Samuel's group, this company will, if it's approved by the board and then approved by the voters. They'd be responsible for selling bonds. Reason we're looking to get this in place now is we want to see what kind of financial impact it has on property owners across the county, so that we have that information to present to you guys in a study on July 14th on the jail expansion.
So that was my question is, this is more at this point, the category of investigating the potential as opposed to a plan that we're proceeding with for sure.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
I just want to clarify that.
This is just to provide you folks as well as the public the information on what kind of impact it's going to have with the expansion. So that's, yeah, it's not that anything to do with the bonds or anything at this point, but
And this is a totally free thing. It doesn't cost us anything unless it goes.
well, and that's what when I talked to Sammy's group, that's how they kind of alluded to it, but I don't see it in there anywhere where it says it's pro bono. So I don't want to say it's free.
The fee schedules here for non-issuance services, the municipal advisor is $100 an hour, administrative personnel.
But it's like it's like when I talked to Samuel's group, you know, and talking with them, that, I mean, just to figure out the property tax impact that this potentially would have. I mean, they're not going to have, they're going to have a few hours into figuring that out for us. They're not going to have like, you know, thousands of hours in figuring this. It's going to be very quick, I think. And,
Yeah, it shouldn't take very long.
I mean, I think it'd be less than 1,000 if they were to submit an invoice to us, but, you know, that's how they kind of, I'm talking with Samuel's group, that they said, well, they may just do it pro bono and not charge it, but I didn't see that in the contract. So I don't want you guys to think that it's free and turns out it's not.
Questions, Chad? If I can get a question again.
No,
You sleepy?
I did,
I'm gonna make a motion to approve it.
I was gonna say, I did have the county attorney's office review that. They didn't see anything with any issues in there.
No, from my understanding, we just have to have one on board, so.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor?
I,
Personnel request, payroll approval, change of employment in recorder's office.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Request for payroll approval, new hire planning and zoning department.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
Request for payroll approval, new hire secondary roads.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any other business to come before the board? Yeah,
so just kind of curious where you guys are at with any kind of data center discussion, since Mark came in here about a month ago to talk about, you know, when you guys had suggested a moratorium on that with the solar, the battery, and the wind stuff. I know there's, you know, in the news, Jefferson County's kind of started to do some things, trying to create an ordinance and then a moratorium to study it. Mahaska County, I believe, last night had some sort of committee meeting on data centers, whether or not they, you know, if there's any interest there, people want them or if they don't. Just kind of curious where Wapello County is right now, if you've had any discussions since Mark was here, or what kind of path maybe you guys see going forward. Not that there's anything imminent, but just to maybe get, you know, something on paper so you can start to explore maybe what the positives and the negatives would be for any kind of data center development in the future.
I'd say about all that's on the table because I got a meeting with Mark tomorrow. And I know Miranda's been giving us information on the other counties doing temporary moratoriums to allow time to research it because it's all new and I haven't delved into it hardly at all. So
Yeah.
tomorrow's going to be a FYI learning with Mark to see what he's looking at.
Make a plans to be there as well. And you can before you and after you.
At this point, I mean, do you have any like real thoughts one way or the other on data centers, or is there too much unknown that you would really have to, educate yourselves on what they are, what they do, um, the kind of electrical and water, you know, utilities that they use at scale to kind of see what they really are all about.
Yeah, I don't know enough, just to get a lot of learning for me, so.
Is that kind of where you're at, Carrie, or?
Yeah. The unknown, yeah.
Yeah,
And I would certainly like to have a little more time to do some research on it. I have several meetings that I'm planning to get scheduled here soon to discuss it with people that have input into that process. I would actually like to see an ordinance that you put together. I think the ordinance could be very, very open-minded or encouraging to data centers, but one of the things that could happen there is that we could limit the size. Like sometimes where you get in trouble is where they try to build these huge facilities and that exceeds the capacity of the area. So sizing is an issue that I want to do some investigation on.
what about the community involvement aspect? Because that seems to be a lot, what a lot of these counties are doing. They're really kind of taking the pulse of where the residents are at. Because again, you're talking about thousands of acres, that it would take to build a data center. A lot of them, certainly over in Jefferson County seem to be opposed to them. But I know their supervisors are kind of keeping an open mind because they want to kind of do their own fact finding and research. Do you think those discussions need to be happening, sooner rather than later with the community, with community members and, at large?
I want to put the cart before the horse until we find out if they're even interested in looking here and
Sure.
what it entails, because
Yeah.
so it just came out of your mouth. I never heard anything about 1,000 acres. I heard
Well,
10 to 15 acres.
No, they're, well, I mean, I should, let me get that right. So the square footage is in the thousands, square footage, not acres, square footage. Sorry to confuse you there. But
Yes.
they're large facilities, mostly regardless. I mean, be quite a few acres anyway. Travis, I think there was also kind of a question on whether a data center would be considered new construction under the new property tax law that the governor signed. Lee Dimmitt over in Jefferson County didn't think they would be, but I think Travis has come with a different.
So Chad had emailed me last week, and asked me about that. I called, some of the leadership this morning for our state association of assessors and talked to them to make sure I was understanding it correctly. It would be considered new construction. Where it gets confusing is if the county or city would give them an industrial exemption, it would still go in as new construction, the full amount. However, the exempted amount. So this is incredibly confusing to explain. So the full amount would go in as new construction for your budget increase purposes, right? Because you're 2% plus new construction. So the full amount would go into the new construction for your budgeting purposes. If they have the industrial exemption or some kind of exemption, that's still allowed in your budget increase, but they're not going to be paying the taxes on it. So it's going to get spread out to everyone that is paying taxes. Am I making sense with that? So you would be allowed to realize it, but they won't be paying for it. Everybody else will be.
Everyone else is gonna pay their bill.
Pretty much, yeah. If they're on an exemption, that's kind of my understanding of how this new legislation is going to work with about anything that's on an urban revite or any sort of exemption like that. Is if it can be realized as new construction, but there's no taxes on it, it still is allowable to increase your budget off of it, but that it's going to get distributed out to everyone else for that to be in your budget.
When you say everyone else, you mean like including the school districts and everybody that's on the tax list?
I mean, homeowners.
Okay.
I'm saying like, so if I'm paying taxes as a homeowner, if there's, you know, let's say a data center adds $10 million of new construction value, but it's on exemption, that $10 million of assessment would be able to be realized in your new construction budget, the portion of your budget that falls under new construction. So you could add in your budget for it, but everybody else is gonna have to pick up the tab on it until it comes off of exception.
Okay.
That makes sense.
How long is an exemption for typically?
Chad.
Sorry.
So the,
Depends on what they give them, 20, 30
yeah,
years.
the industrial exemption, if I remember correctly, might be a 7-year. So I think it's a 7-year step off. I'd have to look to see what the current industrial exemption is. That might be a state one. I'd have to look, because a lot of like the Ottumwa City, their residential, they just changed from a 3-year to a 5-year, 100%. So I'd have to do a little research on that to see what exactly that is.
And when you say it would apply to all the taxpayers, that's by choice, not by have to. Is that, it's not a have to type thing. It could be depending on what we do with it.
If they are allowed an exemption, then it would go that way. If they were not allowed an exemption of any kind, then it wouldn't fall on anyone else. So, yeah, I don't know how that works with not allowing stuff that if it's in their code, you know, obviously there's nothing, the county doesn't have anything that would fall under that. If it was within the city limits, they would have things that it would fall under. So I'm not 100% sure. You know, I know Monroe County has special things set up for like where Cargill is, to get exemptions on stuff like that. I don't know that Wapello County has anything like that. I've never seen anything with that. But I'm not sure.
And then one of my questions, and this goes back to Miranda, is that perhaps MSA could be involved in doing some research for us on the data center ordinance concept.
They, MSA just got done with Lynn County, helping them write their current ordinance. And like Darren said, there's been a number of counties passing moratoriums right now. And I can keep gathering information of ordinances that have already been approved if that's something you'd like to.
It's something I would like to do, but
It'd be nice to see what everybody's doing, so what they're encountering.
I know the
Currently,
Lynn
I think
County.
they're just kind of taking a step back, you know, passing a moratorium, gathering as much information as they can. And so we're not alone through this.
I know a lot of people have been pointing toward the Lynn County ordinance. I think they passed it either earlier this year or late last year. And I have it on my desk at work. I didn't bring it with me, but it's pretty comprehensive as far as setbacks and, you know, wastewater, you know, provisions or whatever. I mean, I would encourage you to look at it if you're anywhere near considering an ordinance, because I think it's what Jefferson County is kind of looking at. Like I said, it's pretty comprehensive. I mean, it addresses pretty much everything that you could think of when it comes to building something like that, I think. That was all I had.
Yeah. Nothing else?
I have something. Brad, I'd like to talk about some gravel roads. Have your road graders been out? I kind of took a tour of roads. We got a phone call last week, Karen did, from a resident. So I took a drive and he sent me some pictures out in a couple different territories. So I have some pictures that I'm gonna give to you. So I was given the excuse that employees have been on vacation. Yeah, for road graders.
Common this time of year, yes.
So can I ask the working foremans? Are they out in the road graders when employees are gone?
I know Mark has been, because he's primarily managing the roads, the rock roads and so forth. So I know he's been filling in routinely. Can't give you an exact number of how many hours, but I did remember seeing a statement from Mark that he'd been out for 15 hours in the
Mowing.
grader, but I can't remember if that was over a pay period or a week or what time span it was.
I
But
think
he-
the email said he was mowing for 15 hours.
Okay, I'm getting that confused, but yeah, they are doing a lot of mowing this time of year because the roadsides are growing up quickly. They should be out on addressing washes, secondary ditches, that type of thing, from the heavy rains that we had until what, about 10 days ago, week and a half, 2 weeks ago. was the
Well,
last one
I
that
will
we
just
had.
tell you, some of the washouts that I've seen, they're not from single rain events or the rain that we had. So this is like an ongoing thing. I know I've been receiving calls. I don't know if you guys been receiving calls, emails.
I've had
Yeah.
a couple.
Yes.
And there again, that's one of those examples of where if people are contacting the board directly, it takes longer for it to get communicated to us so we can get to it. So if you can encourage the citizens to notify our office of issues like that, then we'll do it.
So that's where you and I differ. Like, we're elected and we're here to represent the people. So if these people feel like they need to contact us, then I'm not gonna tell them to contact your office. They can contact me and I will contact your office, which is what we do.
And that's fine. And if they call you, obviously I would ask that you contact us with as much information
And I
as
do.
you can. But that's one more link in the chain of communication, which allows for, it slows things down. Sometimes we transcribe information incorrectly. It just complicates things. So it's most efficient if they contact us directly.
I don't think it complicates things. I think when they send me an email or call me, I directly send an email out to you and Rob and your working foreman.
Okay.
Directly that day.
Yeah, I agree with that. I've seen that frequently. But my 30 years of experience, it commonly slows things down and sometimes we get all the appropriate information, but more often than not, we're
So
not.
I guess
getting
where I'm at
anything.
is, last meeting we had residents here about Little Soap Road.
Mhm.
We've gotten calls, we've gotten emails. And since I've been elected, I have been like asking to be proactive instead of reactive on our roads. And for some reason, we're still being reactive. I sent an email out. I went on the roads that we talked about at the last board meeting. All but Little Soap has been fixed. So what I'm getting at is, why does it have to come to us and us to come to you or Rob or your working foreman to get it fixed?
As I mentioned, it appears as if they're calling the board first instead of contacting us.
And
in
again,
a lot of
I
cases.
relay that message directly to you guys the same day, the same day.
And, I do know that the working foremen are checking out those individual calls. In many cases, they're able to take care of a small edge rut or a
So with
pothole,
that being
type of
said,
thing.
why do our roads look the way they do? Why are these washouts the way that they are?
Those
How much money
walkouts
did
should
we
be
spend
getting,
on Point and Isabel?
those washouts should be getting fixed. You know, Point Isabel with the reshapes out there, I'm sure there were some washes on that, especially on the four
Have you
slopes.
driven that road yet?
Well, I've been on it many times this year, but as far as the last week, no, I haven't been back out there.
Please take a drive on that road today.
I can find time to do that. We are staffed to, generally speaking, provide the snow removal services that is expected by the board, you know, and you set the funding and so forth. So our staffing numbers are set to accomplish that. During the rest of the year, we do as much maintenance activity as we can. We contract out some and so forth, but we're limited with the personnel numbers that we have. And with the snow removal processes, typically our wintertime vacations, so forth, are minimal. They're limited, which means they end up focusing vacations this time of year. So our numbers are down compared to what we have for wintertime.
How many road graders have you had on vacation in the last 2 months?
I would guess all of them at some point during the last few months have taken some time off.
Well,
I
I'll
can't-
you for those numbers.
Yeah, we can check on that. I don't have it off the top of my head. No.
All I'm asking is for our roads not to be in in this condition. It's very simple to me.
I would like to interject. I've lived on the gravel roads in Wapello County for several years, a lot of years. And I would say that they have really never been better than they are today. So I disagree that
Have
they're
you driven
terrible.
them? Have you
I
been,
live
have you
on
toured? I understand, I've been on your road. Your road is a nice road. Your road is a nice road. I
Yeah.
would suggest you take a tour of the entire county.
I do regularly. I know what I'm talking about.
My pictures would tell different.
It's always easy to find a picture of a problem.
I would suggest I'll pick you up one day and I'll take you for a tour.
That'd be a
It's like
violation of
middle of the
open
weekend.
meeting laws.
Well,
I
we
will
can
not
post
go
it
with
if we
you.
need to.
We're not gonna do that.
All right. Anything else? Okay. All right, motion to adjourn.
I'll make it.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right.
Willing, don't run off.
Oh.